Good evening and welcome to the Leadership Challenge show here on EBN TV. It has always been a joy to come again to you so that we strike a conversation on issues that touch on leadership. Someone said everything rises and falls with leadership. If we are doing well, it's because of leadership. If we are not doing well, it's because of leadership. In this program, we seek to strive to sensitize our viewers, whether they be leaders or they be laymen or the electorate. Our desire is to see change in leadership. Our desire is to see improvement. And we believe as we continue to talk here on Leadership Challenge show, we will see improved leadership in our country. Please be free to drop your comments. There's a number that is at the bottom of the screen. You can tell us what your ideas are, what you think about the topic of the discussion of today. Welcome. To help us in our discussion today, we have Dr. Mary Mugo, Dean of Faculty, School of Faculty of Business and Economics at Multimedia University here in Nairobi. Welcome, Dr.
Thank you, Reverend.
You can say something and greet us and these people to know you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Reverend, and I'm happy to be here. How are you, viewers? I'm sure by the end of it all, we'll have understood leadership and make the right decision, because we also say that the kind of leaders you have is the ones you deserve, because you're the ones who bring them into leadership.
Wow.
So welcome.
Wow. I think we are in for a rich discussion today. And to start us off, we want to know, because we have said it before, that leadership is not a position. Leadership is a process. Dr. help us to understand, when we say leadership is not just a position, but a process, what are we really saying, and what can you tell our viewers so that they understand this concept better?
Thank you, Pastor. When you talk about leadership, I think the first thing we need to understand is leadership is about influence. And that influence is not coercive. You see? You see, when you say that you're leading, you are influencing people to achieve a goal, but the influence is not through coercion. It is through inspiration.
Wow.
So a leader inspires people to do something.
Yes.
Now, that tells you you can be in a position, but you are not a leader. In fact, in leadership, position is what I would call assigned leadership. Because I have found myself in a certain position, you are expected to actually exercise leadership if you find yourself in a position.
Yeah.
But there are very many people who are in positions of leadership, but they are not leaders. Because you can hold a position, but you are not influencing anyone. That's why you find people using force, forcing you to do things, because they're in a position, they have the authority, but they don't have the aspect of leadership. Wow. Now, when you say that leadership is a process, what we are saying here is that leadership is about an interaction between a leader and a follower. So the process is in terms of, for you to really say there is leadership, there must have been some interaction between a leader and a follower. And that tells you, therefore, that anybody can be a leader. You have heard people saying that leaders are born, others are saying leaders are made. But if you look at it from the beginning, anybody listening to us today can actually be a leader.
Wow. Because
when we are created by God, we were created with that innate aspect of leadership. Because it's about interaction. So leadership can actually be taught, like we are doing now.
Yes.
Leadership can be taught, but there are people who are also born leaders.
Yeah.
Because of the traits aspect, because of the way they do things. But in academic, that's called trait theory, where people think if you are a leader, you must be tall, must be handsome, you know. So there are leaders, there are people who are leaders by kind of because of the way they look, the way they do things, but leadership can also be taught. So it is actually sad when you are in a position and you can't exercise leadership. And that is why we find ourselves in a mess. Because people are in the positions, but they don't know how to exercise leadership.
Well, so you are saying that anyone can be a leader?
Yes.
So what is this process? If we can come and talk a little bit on the leadership process. Because you have said that for leadership to come to be, there has to be a leader and a follower. Then we can talk about leadership. Now, the processes that are involved in this, the dynamics, the things that leaders do to help the people or to bring people to their desired goals. Maybe you can delve a little bit in that aspect. Okay. So that it does not remain that I am this person, I'm the governor, I'm the governor. So when we begin to talk about the process, of course I know you've exhausted it, but how do leaders move people to their desired goals?
Yeah, thank you very much. You see, I'll tell you what, there are so many governors today who are just in that position, but they are not leading. Because you see, when I look at stories, like there was a story I think 2 days ago or yesterday about my county, where a journalist went, it's all over in the news, a journalist went, they could not get an ICU bed and all those kind of things. That tells you there is something wrong about the person in that position. But basically when you talk about a leader ensuring that the goals are met, remember we've said you are influencing through inspiration. Because you have a vision, you have a conviction, and you want people to follow that. There are many things that you must do. One of them, I keep saying that it is true everything rises and falls on leadership.
Yes, yes.
But actually leadership rises and falls on communication.
Say that again, please.
Leadership falls and rises on communication.
On communication?
On communication. A leader must be able to communicate. Because how will people buy into your vision if you cannot communicate? Now, communication is not telling people what to do. Communication is bringing people together. You have a conversation, and they buy your idea willingly. So a leader must be able to communicate. And when we say a leader, a pastor, we are not just talking about political leaders. We are talking about leaders in the family. The family must be able to know what is our father up to. I'm of the opinion leadership starts from the family. Leadership is in charge everywhere. Because how will people buy the idea and the vision unless you communicate? And many leaders fail in that aspect. Because instead of communicating, what they do is they force it into you. You see, that's not communication. When I come and tell you this thing is good, that's not communication. Communication is you have come, you've asked us, how do you think we can do this as a leader? And then we explain to you, you buy into the idea. So communication is the most important thing for a leader. The other key thing in leadership is that a leader must be able to inspire people. You see, if you look at all areas of leadership, people will follow you because you inspire them. People will follow you because you motivate them. So as a leader, you must be able to know what is it that motivates my people, what motivates my followers. And you will not be able to know what motivates your followers unless you are on the ground. You see, and that is why when you talk about leadership, the issue of decision making is very important. A leader must be able to make decisions. And must be able to make those decisions and do the right thing. In fact, we normally say that leadership is about doing the right thing. Management is doing things right. So leaders do the right thing.
Say that again.
So leaders do the right things. Managers do things right. Let me give our viewers an example, Pastor. For example, you go into an office, or let's use the politics, because that's what people like hearing.
Let's talk about anything.
That's what people like hearing. So we are in the era of COVID. And there are so many things that are happening. And then we have, for example, we have BBI. BBI may be good or bad, we don't know because I've not read.
Yes.
And I can't comment on something I've not read. But as a leader, you need to ask yourself, is it the right thing for me to do right now to spend money on BBI when people are dying? So a leader will do the right thing. What is the right thing to do is that now?
To do.
A manager will do things right. Meaning, if we had planned that BBI must be passed in this and this month,
it must happen.
The manager will do it that particular time because they are managing.
Yes.
But a leader will say, no, it is not the right time.
Oh.
Do the right thing.
Wow. Dr. Please help us. Do you think majority of leaders in our country, in our institutions, in our churches, even in the family, in the society, do they understand leadership this way, the way we are talking here? Because we may be speaking like we are from another planet. Do they really understand leadership from the perspective we are discussing here? Do many leaders in our country understand what leadership is?
Pastor, in my view, I think they don't. For the simple
Majority.
reason, majority don't.
Yes.
Because most people, even the rectorate, think
yes.
because you are an MCA, you are a leader.
So you are saying even the electorate do not even understand what leadership is?
No.
Wow.
Because they think because you hold a position, you are a leader. But I said if you hold a position, it is expected that you exercise leadership. And you see, I'll tell you what, especially... Actually, all the areas you're saying, you see, a leader, before I even come to that, a leader must have integrity.
Yes.
You know, a leader must be able to honor their word. A leader must be able to keep their word. And, Pastor, there are very few people in those circles you're saying who even honor even one word. They'll come and tell you, we will do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 5 years are over, they come with another story. So, in my view, we have very few leaders, if any, in this country, in my view. I could be wrong, but in my opinion, many people don't even have no idea what leadership is all about. They just come, put things, it's like putting a gun on your face and tell you must do this, I am the boss here. No, that's not leadership.
What do you think can be done in this country? The same story in East Africa. Same story almost everywhere in Africa. What can we do so that leaders begin to lead rather than occupy positions? What do you think really needs to be done? Because you have said something very interesting, that you find a combination of two people who don't know what leadership is. The one electing the leader and the one being elected by the electorate. What do you think we should begin to do to turn around things in leadership?
The first thing we need to do is what we are doing now.
Oh.
So this is the right thing to do.
Yes.
And congratulations for that.
Thank you so much.
The first thing that we need to do is to educate the masses. Because as I said when we started, the kind of leader you have is what you deserve. Because they don't put themselves in positions.
Yes.
So we need to educate the masses and let them know what exactly is leadership about.
Yes.
Secondly, we need also to be honest with ourselves. Because you see, the reasons why many people in positions do what they do is because the way they get into the process is also wrong. So we need to have the right process of leadership in terms of when I want to, go for a seat. For example, let's say it's a political seat, for example.
Yes.
Am I able to do it without being corrupt? Am I able to, go for a seat without having to cough some money? And the rectorate also need to know that leadership is not about going for harambes. It's not about going for burials, even though it is good. But you see, when a leader buys you, then they'll do with you whatever they want. So we must be able...
purchased you.
Yeah, they have purchased you. So how do you then come back and start saying, I did not give you a road? I did my bit. I gave you the 200 or the 1,000. So we need to educate the masses. Number two, we need to be honest as both leaders and the followers. There are various types of followers, maybe for another day. But we need also to understand that leadership is about getting things done. It's not about the many things that people If you went, Reverend, to ask any voter today, what is the work of an MCA, they don't know. They'll just tell you MCA is supposed to come from Mayarambe and give us bursary. MCAs are supposed to be making laws in the county.
Yes.
So a lot of education is needed. Secondly, we need to, and this is the most important thing, we must put those in position to account. Accountability is very important in leadership. When you put someone into any position, because I say position is assigned leadership, and they must exercise that leadership, then they must be accountable. We must ask those hard questions people don't want to ask. You see, Kenyans and electorates are very good people. They don't want to ask hard questions. They want to hide in tribe, they hide in... The question is, what have you done as a leader? Irrespective of whether you're my brother, whether you're my sister. So we must ensure that there is accountability and the structures are there, whether it is in the government, whether it is in the church, even in the family, there must be accountability.
Yes.
Because when you hold a leader to account, they change the way they do things.
Wow. Okay. So now, to wrap it, this first session, because we want to take a short break. But before we take that short break, please draw the clear lines between a position and leadership, so that people can understand you can be a member of parliament, but you are not a leader and you are not leading. I just want you to say this one thing that really draws the line, so that people stop seeing people occupying positions and begin to call them leaders, and also people who are supposed to be leaders occupying positions and failing when it comes to leadership. One thing that you can say that draws line, so that the viewer and anyone that is catching up with this program can understand, yes, there's a difference between just a position and leadership.
Thank you. Someone who is in a position or use coercive power will use the authority of the seat they are in to do things. It's as simple as that.
Wow.
A leader will use what we call expert power or referent power. Expert power is I'm good in what I'm doing, or reference power is I'm able to, people admire me and what I do. So a leader will influence people, or inspire people, or motivate people, and a leader does not have to have any position. You can be in leadership, but you don't hold any position whatsoever.
You know, let me give you this example. I'm a pastor. I've gone to pastors' forums, and I see people fighting for the front seats. It happens a lot. And what can you say about this? Because it happens a lot.
Yeah, you see, the Bible says that you should not be quick to sit in front.
The front
now, let me tell you now the difference between position and leadership in that aspect.
Yes.
Someone who is seen to be a leader, they will sit behind, and when the event starts, someone will move from front and come and say, hey, Reverend Kavoi, please come and sit in front. And someone else will be removed. But being in, you don't need to hold any position to be a leader. You can influence people from wherever you are. And that's what people need to understand. That's why you find that even in this country, there are people who don't hold any position, but when they say things, people listen. And there are people who are in a position, when they say things, people are like, chana na we.
Especially in this country, we need to be delivered from the overbearing of the leaders on the populace, driving on the wrong side of the road, sirens blaring all the time, and you see all these people being bypassed by people who are in leadership. Really, do we really have to drive with a convoy of Sijui how many cars so that now you lead? Should you really, this show of might?
Actually, Pastor, if you see anyone showing a lot of might, they are not leaders. There's something they are hiding. You see, a leader, most leaders, just check even in the world, even in this country, most people who are great leaders are very simple. Look at any leader that you know who was great. In fact, let's look at the Bible, since we are
also in a church.
You know, we are
also Christians.
Look at Moses. Moses did not even know how to speak in his own. He even said himself he's not good at speaking. Exactly.
Yeah.
He said that. But you see, there's something God had seen in this man, and he led the children of Israel out.
He did it.
Because you see, in leadership, you don't have to show might. You just need to be able to inspire people. That is why you even find a small girl say something, and people listen, and even the crowd is moved because they are inspiring. But there are people who will come and talk for hours. And therefore, we don't need the shenanigans of people, you know, passing everywhere. And, you know, in fact, I really don't like that, by the way. People putting people at the side as if I did not contribute to the making of the road. You know, so those are not leaders. Those are just proud people who hold positions, because at the end of the day,
that is now positional leadership. That's
positional leadership. You are using coercive power. You are using
to intimidate people,
exactly,
and to
authority,
beat people into line.
You know, it's like someone saying, you know, let me tell you, Pastor, do you need in your house to tell your children that you are their father?
If I do that, then I may not be their father. Correct.
That's what I'm trying to say. If you've got to tell us that I am this and this, I am this and this, then there's something wrong. Wow. Because people know you. If you are a leader, you don't need to tell anybody who you are.
Wow.
We know.
Wow. Wow, Dr. Mary Mugo, blowing our minds really in this discussion. Don't touch that dial. We'll be right back. We take a short break. Welcome back to the Leadership Challenge show here on EBN TV, discussing on the process of leadership. Helping us to answer this important question is Dr. Mary Mugo with me here in the studio. Welcome again, Dr.
Thank you very much.
And because we have a lot to say, and we, in fact, you know, you can only touch a small bit in a session like this one. But before we come to begin to conclude, we want to look at ourselves and ask ourselves, where are we? Where have our leaders taken us? Whether it is at a county level, whether it is at institutions, whether it is at churches, whether it is at national level, where have leaders left the masses? Where are we? Here in Kenya, or in East Africa, or in Africa? Because leaders have been leading all this time. Where has leadership left the masses? Where are we, Dr.
Thank you very much. For me, my opinion is that the leaders are on their own. The masses are on their own.
Really?
In other words, the leaders do not understand what is on the ground. Whether it is at the national level, whether it's at the county level, whether it's even sometimes even the churches, sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah.
Basically, the leaders do not seem to understand what is going on in the ground. And that's why young people say, now that I deal with young people, mambo kwa ground is different.
Yes.
Yeah, because if you look at what our leaders are doing at the moment and what is on the ground, in my view, they totally have lost it. They totally don't understand what is going. Why do I say that, Pastor?
Yes.
If, for example, where COVID has become very, very bad every day, like especially this wave, from what we are seeing in the news, things are really bad. And Pastor, you have seen leaders holding political rallies. You have seen leaders moving around and with the masses. And the same leaders come later and tell us, hey, you need to wear your mask, you need to avoid protocols. They even close churches. But they are still in politics. What does that tell you? They totally have lost it. They totally don't understand what leadership is all about. Because how on earth would your people be going through what we are going through right now, and the only thing you can do is go and politic?
Wow.
I mean, what exactly are you saying? So for me, the leadership has lost it. They need to come back to their senses and get to know what do the masses want? The other thing I would want to say, Pastor, is that a good leader should always be, they should always interact. As I said when we started, leadership as a process is that interaction between the leader and the follower. So the leaders need to come back to the Mwananchi and ask them, what is it that you want us to do? You see, you don't go and, I would say, you don't rule from the ivory tower. And I think that's what our leaders are doing at all levels. They rule from the ivory tower, where they, you know, they put themselves in there and they pretend to make decisions that are affecting the person down there. If you're ruling from ivory tower, either, which is the truth, many people who rule from ivory tower, they're either incompetent or insecure. So, in my view, they are ruling from up there, and they think that the electorate is not wise, or maybe they don't care, and they are making decisions up there on behalf of the electorate, not only in government, in many areas, even in organizations. You find people, you find the CEO just sit somewhere, and they just call the managers, they have a chat, and they make a decision. We need what we would call participative leadership. You need to come down, ask the masses, what exactly do you want us to do for you? And that is why, I guess, the Constitution even had public participation, but I have never had, even myself, I have never had anywhere we've been called to do public participation. People decide from somewhere, this is good for you, this is good for you, this is good for you. The other thing, Pastor, is that our leadership, in my view, have no integrity at all.
Integrity.
They never keep their word. They never honor their word. It's like they think it is a game, you know. You just come and excite us, you know. So for me, I think they need to really rethink. And, you know, some of these things happen, Pastor, for a reason. You know, I have read, I have seen in the news in the beginning of last year that some governors even had put ICU beds in their homes. And the hospitals, and the hospitals do not have ICU beds.
Jesus Christ.
How can a leader even think that they can actually have an ICU bed in their home?
So actually, majorly, Daktari, many leaders are doing their thing, their own things, and Wanaiji are on their own.
Exactly. We are on our own. In fact, I have said many times, for those who care to listen, you simply on your own. If you go to a hospital, there is nothing, you're on your own. So actually it is what we say, it is you and God. So if you have no God, you are in trouble.
You know, it has always bothered me because there is no hospital in this country, there's no dispensary in this country that appears to have painkillers, you know, the small tablets. It's like, and yet we have a huge health budget. Really, where does this money go?
Bishop, you know, you just pass by Kemsa and you get a contract, a contract of 1 billion. What do you expect? You see, and you see, that is where I normally say that even as the masses, we also now need to take our position. And you know what? Where revolutions have happened is because masses got tired. We need to get tired of what is happening. You need to get tired and say, hey, I pay tax. I need to see a good road. And
I think because you're mentioning this, it's good to ask, do majority of the citizens know that they are on their own? Do they feel it?
Actually,
have they realized? Do they know what has hit them?
Actually, they don't care.
Many of the what do you mean?
The masses don't care. You see, for them, for them, it's, you know, the unfortunate part about this in this country is the masses are living below the poverty level. So for them, it's about food. For them, it's about what do I do?
Game of survival.
Correct. So for them, they even wonder when you start saying Corona is killing people, They are like, you want my children to die? I have nothing to eat.
And they have said that many times on national television.
Correct.
Yeah.
And it is surprising that the leaders do not see that.
So there's a desperation in the masses.
The masses are desperate.
To the point where they don't even care who is the leader.
They actually, most of them don't care.
You know, there's something that happened last week. There was an election for the senatorial seat in Machakos County. And I don't know whether what you are saying is really what is happening on the ground.
Did you see the...
Because we have around 650,000 registered voters.
I'm one of them.
And, really?
Yeah.
And the winner wins with 104,000. Where are 500,000 voters?
They
and
don't
what are
care.
they saying to us?
They don't care.
Oh, please, take it on.
Drive
it further.
They just don't care because they have looked at it and they're like, so I waste my day to go and vote. I have no food. I come back, what next? So why waste my time to go and vote? And it's now becomes like apathy kind of thing, where the masses are like, whoever becomes the leader is none of my business. In fact, if we are not careful, people will stop even voting. I have had people saying that I will not vote again. I don't see the need. Because again, they also now say, irrespective of who you vote, the system will decide who wins.
I'm hearing this word system, deep state. I'm hearing words like that of late. And so maybe this is adding to the desperation of the masses.
Correct.
And let me try to find out. So what should the masses do? Because it appears the solution will come from the masses, because these guys, when they realize that we don't care, like you are saying, then it appears now these guys will take advantage of the masses and they will continue to rule, take all the money. If we don't care if they are stealing, we don't care whether they are not delivering promises, they will continue to do that. If they will take advantage of it. What should the masses do to galvanize the masses so that now they... Because I think the answer will only come from there.
Yeah, the answer is with the masses, and what we must do from now is to hold every leader to account, from down there to top.
Yeah.
Because you see, when you hold a leader to account, people will begin to change.
Yeah.
If, for example, there is a CBO, a community-based organization where you are, nobody knows where the money goes, nobody knows nothing. You need to get your leaders to account. If they don't account, then we need a revolution. And by then, the best revolutions that have ever happened in the world were led by masses, not politicians.
Not politicians.
When in fact, I've been saying, Pastor, the day Unga goes to, after you pass BBI and things change, I don't know whether it will change good or bad, but I see life going up. If the day the Mwananchi will start buying Unga at 1,000 shillings, there will be a revolution.
There will be a revolution. They will be pushed to the wall.
Yeah.
And you know, I come from a place where they say a monkey really bites a man. But the day you lock a monkey inside the house and you stand at the door, the monkey will pass through that door, believe it or not, where you are standing, and it will bite you. So the monkey bites because now, what do you want it to do?
What do you do?
So really, it's really a pathetic case.
Very pathetic.
And the desperation is there, and the masses. If the solution is with the masses, then I think we need to concentrate on educating the masses, so that now they can also do revolution through the votes.
Yeah, in fact, what we need to do is, because that will take time for me to mention all, we need to educate the masses what are the qualities of a good leader. So that when someone comes to you, you have those qualities. Do they, for example, are they courageous to stand up on something? Do they have integrity? Are they honest? You need to, now you need, actually the masses will decide the kind of leader they want. And I, when I have time to speak to masses on political issues, I tell them, if someone comes with the money, please eat it, but vote the right person.
Oh.
You know,
Eat the money.
Eat the money,
yeah.
but vote the right person. But the masses need to understand what are the qualities of a good leader. Because at the end of the day, what you need is someone who is going to transform the society, a transformative leader.
Yes.
You need someone who understands the things on the ground. But you see, when it is really sad when you hear the members of parliament some time back saying that now they need to be covered better, they need a plane, waiting for them in case one of them gets COVID.
You see?
So what happens to the person who brought you to that position? When they go to a hospital and they find there is no medicine, no ICU, I mean, shame on our leaders, honestly. I mean, how do you do like that?
Yeah, very pathetic case.
Very
pathetic case, but good enough. We have election coming in 1 year's time.
Next year.
And we can change the leaders, and we can decide that we refuse bad leaders and choose good leaders. And that is the most important thing.
You know.
But now, my next question, and I say that so that I come, I know you say a lot when I ask this question. The leaders seem to know how to divide the opinions of the citizens and brings the narratives like, this is our man, this is our person, and it looks like every time the citizens fall into that trap.
Yeah,
what can we do to entrap these citizens?
Actually, our undoing in this country is a negative ethnicity.
Negative
and
ethnicity.
being tribalistic. You see, it is very sad, even learned people are also tribalists. It is very sad that when someone is caught thieving, for stealing, you say it is our people. But when they are eating, they eat alone. So we need to get out of we need to get out of that thing of I'm going to give you my vote because you come from my community. And I think that's where Tanzania beats us. People can say whatever they want to say about the late Magufuli, but believe you me, there is something about Tanzania that Kenyans need to learn from. That unjamaa aspect. Can you be able to put me into a position because I'm qualified? In other words, we need to start using meritocracy. When you give me a CEC job, when you give me a CS job, a CAS job, are you giving me because of political angle or because I can deliver?
Because you qualify or because you are the right person.
Correct.
Yeah.
When you give me a job in an organization, are you doing it because I merit it, or because you know my father? So all of us need to change our actually, in a nutshell, we need to change our mindset.
Yeah.
Both as electorate and as leaders.
Wow, this is very deep, and thank you so much. You are breaking it down so well, and we definitely, I think next time we will also be with you, so that you take us further in this discussion. We are taking a short break. When we return, we will try to delve into a few other leadership issues that affect us. Don't go very far. We will be right back. Welcome back, my dear viewer, to the Leadership Challenge Show, and I believe you have been working together with us in this conversation and discussion. I want to encourage you to keep your texts coming. We want to know what you think, your ideas, your observation, your views on the discussion on leadership process. With us again, as I said earlier, is Dr. Mary Mugo, and the Dean of Faculty of Business and Economics at Multimedia University here in the city of Nairobi. We have, Daktari, we have covered some ground in our discussion, but before we go to what we want to discuss next, I think the last thing we said in the last segment talking about the electorate being divided and being confused when it comes to the time to lead, to elect leaders. And you remember I mentioned about this is our man, or this is somebody we know. And so they are bombarded with such things that they will lose track of a good leader. Should we really, if we know somebody is a thief, if we know somebody has stolen money, if we know somebody has grabbed land, yes, should we come out as a community, if we want good leadership and we are looking for good leaders who are able to take our society forward, all our country forward, should we come out at community level and begin to say, you cannot touch this man is a, even others say, even the land he grabbed is in our region, it is within our tribe, you see, is our community land. Should we really continue to do this? And the narrative of our man, our person, should we continue to really think this way as the electorate?
Thank you very much. Actually, that is very wrong thinking. But again, the problem is the society as a whole. The
society.
You see, the society glorifies thieves. See?
Oh, yeah.
When you talk to young kids, they want to be like specific names, which I will not mention.
Don't mention.
Because they look very rich, but they are thieves.
They are thieves.
Secondly, when the society starts, looking at people with money as if they are better than those without money.
Celebrating thieves. And corrupt leaders.
Correct.
Yes.
And more so, even worse, Pastor, is bringing corrupt people to stand on the pulpit, for example.
Or inside our churches.
I mean, what do you expect? If someone comes and being born again, we believe men of God a lot. So if a man of God can actually bring a thief, a thief to the pulpit, for example, then what do we do? But you see, the thing is, if you look at the systems, there's a breakdown. Because you see, if the system was correct,
yes,
such kind of people will not be cleared by IBC.
Oh,
so it is even
the
whole
system going wrong.
The system is wrong.
The way we filter people who can come into leadership.
Correct.
Yes.
The society is wrong. If I go to Harambe and I speak and I tell them I have this amount, they'll be like, see, you are so learned, why are you bringing so little money? And someone else comes with a lot of money, nobody will ask them where you brought them.
So the society is just spoiled because they want this man who is coming with a lot of money. They don't want to ask where the man got the money from. But if you don't steal, you don't do corruption, you bring an amount that does not appear to be so big, you are not celebrated. Actually,
there's a lady, a woman rep in Nyeri, who lost her seat because they didn't give a lot of money in Harambe. It is there in the news. They went and gave some little money, others brought a lot, she didn't get it. But you see, at the end of the day...
What was her argument?
She said she doesn't steal and that's the money she has. And she has come with a good
salary.
Heart.
Yes. Yeah.
And you see, the question we should be asking ourselves is, if the systems were working, we should be able to know who did what. And that's why I say we are on our own. Because when people can even steal, in my view, from the dead.
Coffins. You bury somebody in Langata and they come for the coffin at night.
And on top of that, even the people in leadership steal the money that is meant to cater for people who have COVID, people who are sick. So the society has to change.
The conscience of the society is dead.
I think so, because you see, if you are an upright person and you go to campaign, people will have a problem with you. They will ask you, hakuna kitu natuachia ama, kwetu tunasemanga unja konyaka kitu ama, so at the end of the day, even the society encourages people to steal. Because for you to be in leadership, it's like you've got to have a lot of money. And that is why I keep asking myself if from the figures I see, if you want to do MCA, you spend not less than 10 million in campaigns. When you do the salary, how will you get your money back? Unless you do some corruption. Correct. And you see, that is where now we are saying that if you really want leaders who can transform this nation, you want leaders who will serve you. Because you see, actually we don't understand that when a leader is your servant. It's not your master. Yeah. We need to put that in our hands. So an MP, an MCA should not come to me as if they are my master. I am the master. Because now we really have to inform the electorate. I want you to draw a clear line for the viewer on the benefits of doing clean leadership against allowing somebody who comes with easy money and seems to be taking you somewhere but takes you nowhere. The society must begin to see the benefits of holding on to integrity. Because right now the society does not seem to be up in grips with the benefits of integrity. Please come in briefly on this. Yeah, thank you. One, if you have a leader who has integrity, basically meaning they normally honor their word, utaona maendeleo. Because if we tell you we will do 1, 2, 3, the leader will do it. That's number one. Number two, the economics of the place will go up. The economics of the place will go up. The electorate will be better in all aspects of life. Whether it is healthy, whether it is education, whether it's infrastructure. When you have good leaders, you'll see change from down there. Not from top, from down there. You will know you have a good leader if they identify with you. You see, the problem is leaders who have no integrity, those guys that you even know they are your neighbors, when they get into position, power enters into their head. So all of a sudden, you are no longer the same. They don't want to hear what you've got to say. And yet you are eating at the same table. Correct. Yeah. And I'll tell you what, there's one time I asked some electorate somewhere, why do you get some little amount of money and then you choose someone who will not help you for 5 years? And this was their answer. They told me, I would better afadhali nikule hiyo 200 because after tumchague hatutawahi muona. Oh, it's an act of desperation. In other words, they know that after you get the seat, you're gone. So you need to get people of integrity, people who will be there with you, people who understand your needs, people who will come and ask you, what is it that you want us to do for your village? Not bringing their own things so that they can make money. So we've got to get out of that as electorates. Daktari, you have to come back and talk to us. People are looking for change. My dear viewer there is waiting for change. And they don't seem to be aware if they allow corrupt leaders, that change will never come. Change starts with you. My viewer wants to find medicine in dispensaries, but there is none, and they don't know that they will never find medicine there unless they get leaders of integrity. Because we are concluding, we have run out of time. It's very unfortunate we have to come to a conclusion so quickly. But I will want you to look at your camera, and I want you to address everyone that is watching this program, because everybody wants good roads. They want good hospitals. They want good Medicare. They want good development of the country. They want the cost of life to go down. But unless they understand the importance of choosing leaders of integrity, those changes will remain pipe dreams. Correct. They will never come into reality. Please address them and tell them what to do next time they go into elections. Thank you very much. Our viewers, one, change begins with you. If you want to see change, you've got to decide to vote the right people. If you want to see change, you've got to decide to do the right thing. Yes. Secondly, our viewers, you've got to understand Your leaders are not your masters. They are your servants. You don't need to kneel before any leader. They should be kneeling before you because you're the one who has given them a job. There is nowhere in this world where masters kneel before their servants. It's the other way around. And therefore, you need to get out of your cocoons. You need to get serious. Get out of your tribal cocoons. Get out of your this mindset of I don't care. Because if you don't care, then you'll keep complaining. You will keep whining. It will not help. And make sure when it's time to vote, get your vote and vote the right person. Forget about the retro money they give you. Vote a person who can be trusted, a person who is uncorruptible, a person of integrity. When you do that, change will begin to happen.
Thank you so much. That's powerful. My dear viewer, we must end it there in the interest of time. But just know that change that we need is not about to come unless we put into leadership men and women of integrity. Thank you for being together with us in this discussion. Please watch this space for our next episode here at EBN, the Leadership Challenge Show with Dr. Mary Mugo again. Thank you so much, my dear viewer. And up to that point, bye-bye and God bless you.